Here's another example where we have been asked to solve by factoring. We already have 0 on one side, so the first thing we want to do is see if there's anything common to the left-hand terms. There's not any numbers, but we do see that they have a factor of y in common. So we will factor a y out and then write down what is left over. So factoring out the y, we'd have 5y squared minus 14y minus 3 left over on the inside. Now that we've factored out the y, we can see that what's inside might also factor further. So we'd want to try to do that if we possibly can. It's a trinomial having 3 terms, so if it's going to factor, it would factor as 2 binomials. First, I want factors of 5y squared. I could use 5y and y, and that's just about my only option. I'd also want factors of 3, so I could use 3 and 1. If I put the 3 on the far outside and the 1 here, I can check myself and see that the inner product would be 1y, the outer product would be 15y, and if I put the negative in front of the 15 and the positive in front of the 1, those two would combine to the middle term, negative 14y. So I know that I at least have the right numbers. The last thing to check before going on in your factorization, just make sure that these two multiply to the 5y squared, which they do, and that these two multiply to the negative 3, which they do. So I'm confident that my factorization is correct. Now from this point, once I have everything factored, I need to set each factor to 0. Look at the factor I have in the front, the y. It's a variable, so I need to set it equal to 0. Need to set this factor equal to 0, and this one as well. Notice that this particular problem was actually not a quadratic equation, it was a cubic. Y'all notice that the highest power here is a 3rd power. However, we notice that once we factor a y out, what we have on the inside here was a quadratic. Going ahead and solving, y equals 0 is already solved, so that's taken care of. Subtract a 1 here. So we have 5y equals negative 1. Divide out the 5. So we'd have y equals negative 1/5. And then finally over here, setting this equal to 0, add over the 3. And so we'd have y equals 3. Online, there are 3 different answers. It would already have the y equals for you, and then you're filling in the blank. So you would enter 0, comma, negative 1/5, comma, 3 as our answer.